You know, we're always told that hard work is the key to success. But what happens when it's not? What if you give it your absolute all and it still blows up in your face? Well, today's story is all about that. It's a tale of failure, some serious sabotage, and one brilliant idea that turned everything around. Okay, let's get into it.
Everything in this story really comes down to these words spoken from a mother to her sons. A person who tries never loses. Think about that. That's not just advice, it's a lifeline. And believe me, this family is going to need it. Because that belief, it's about to be pushed to the absolute limit. Over and over again.
All right, so let's meet our family. We're in the village of Sanjay Nagar, and we've got a young guy named Haria, his brother Lalu, and their mom, Ganga Devi. Ever since their dad passed away, their whole life, their entire world has been wrapped up in this little tea stall. I mean, it's not much, but it's how they survive. It's everything they have.
And then, just like that, their world comes crashing down. The local landlord, the zamindar, shows up. And he's not there for a cup of tea. He's there to collect a debt Haria has no way of paying. Haria begs, pleads for just a little more time. But this guy, he's got zero compassion. He just turns to his men and tells them to tear the place apart, destroy it, throw everything they own right into the dirt.
So Haria goes home just completely defeated. Their one and only source of income is just gone. Can you imagine that? The silence in their home must have been deafening. I mean, what do you even say? They have absolutely nothing. No money, no stall, and no clue where their next meal is even coming from. It's total despair. Right when you think it's all over, their mother comes up with this kind of crazy idea. She tells them they should start farming the plot of land their father left them. Now, here's the catch. This land is completely barren. We're talking so dry and useless that not even weeds will grow there. It's a total long shot, a real Hail Mary, but honestly, it's the only play they've got left.
But to farm, you need money for seeds, for tools, and they have none. So, the mother does something truly incredible. She takes her Mongol sutra, her wedding necklace, the last physical reminder of her husband, and she pawns it. This isn't just jewelry, it's sacred. That one act of pure faith is all the motivation the brothers need. They pour every ounce of their being into that barren field.
And you won't believe it, but it actually works. After all that hard work, the field gives them these huge, beautiful watermelons. So they rush off to the market and boom, they sell out almost immediately. They're on top of the world thinking, we did it, we can get mom's necklace back. But then it all goes wrong. The customers start coming back and they are furious. They claim the watermelons look great on the outside but are totally white and tasteless inside. The family is labeled as frauds, cheats, and they have to give back every single penny. So after that nightmare, they spend another year working the land. This time, they grow dates. But when they get to the market, it's even worse. Nobody will even talk to them. Word is spread, apparently. They're just shut down, called fraudsters before they can even sell one single date.
I mean, let's just pause on that first failure for a second. The cruelty is just staggering. Picture it. You've just had your first taste of success, and suddenly you're surrounded by an angry mob. These are the same people who were just eagerly buying from you. Now they're screaming at you, calling you a thief, threatening you, telling you that you won't leave alive unless you give back all the money. It's public humiliation at its absolute worst.
After a disaster like that, most people would just throw in the towel, right? But not their mother. She pushes them to try one more time. The problem is, they've got nothing left to sell. So she makes the most terrifying decision yet. She tells them to pawn their house. And get this, the only person who will give them the loan is the zamindar, the same guy who destroyed their tea stall in the first place. I mean, the stakes are now astronomically high. They're literally betting the roof over their heads.
So that second trip to the market with the dates, that was it. That was rock bottom. Being rejected out of hand, not even given a chance. They're back home with nothing to show for it but more debt and humiliation. But, sometimes it's in those absolute lowest moments that everything changes. And that's exactly what's about to happen here.
You can just feel the crushing weight of that question in the room, can't you? Who has the strength now? The brothers are done. They're completely broken. They poured their souls into this, lost their home for it, and got shamed for it twice. For them, there's no way out. The road has ended.
But their mother, she's not ready to give up. In the middle of all this despair, she just quietly picks up one of those dates that nobody would buy. She takes a bite, and a light goes on. The date is delicious, incredibly sweet. She calls it a blessing. And right then, she gets it. The problem was never the product, it was the plan. They were playing the wrong game, relying on a market that wanted them to fail.
So she comes up with this brilliant idea, a total pivot. She says, let's stop trying to sell the raw ingredients, let's create something new. They'll take their amazing dates, mix them with jaggery, and make a kind of sweet fudge, a barfi. And here's the kicker. No more going to that big, hostile market. They're going to sell it themselves, right here, directly to their own neighbors in the village.
And that single decision, that shift in strategy, is the turning point. This is the start of their comeback. They're not just farmers anymore, you see. Now, they're creators, they're business owners. And they're about to find out just how powerful a smart idea can be.
So the brothers hit the village streets with their new date barfi. And at first, yeah, people are a little hesitant. But the second they get a taste, whoa, the reaction is immediate. People are saying, this is incredible. Some are even saying it makes them feel stronger, that it helps with their aches and pains. Before they know it, they've got a line of people wanting to buy it by the kilo.
So this new business isn't just a success, it's a huge hit. And you know what the very first thing they do with the money is? Harya walks right back to that pawnbroker and buys back his mother's Mangalsutra. That must have been such an amazing moment. It's not just a necklace, it's the first piece of their dignity, of their honor that they finally managed to reclaim.
Naturally, the Zaminar sees all this, and he is seething. He can't stand to see them succeed. So he comes up with a plan to send his goons in the middle of the night to steal all their dates right off the trees. But this time, Hari is a step ahead. A friendly shopkeeper gives him a heads up, so he cooks up this clever and totally non-violent trap. He goes out and rubs a powerful itching herb all over the trunks of the date trees.
And the result is just perfect and kinda hilarious. The thieves sneak in, they start climbing the trees, and suddenly they are hit with this insane, unbearable itch. You can just hear one of them yelling, "It feels like an army of ants is marching on my body." They scramble down and run off into the darkness, scratching like mad. The whole plot is foiled, and honestly, it's pretty funny.
Word of this amazing date barfi starts to spread way beyond their own village. And pretty soon, a merchant from a big city shows up, asking around for them. Turns out, he's heard all about their legendary sweet, and he wants a huge, standing order for all 5 of his shops. This is it. This is the moment their little homemade business is about to hit the big time.
And with a deal like that, they're set. Their fortune is made. You know, the game of time has completely flipped. The tables have turned, and now they're the ones holding all the cards. They're finally in a position to take back everything they lost.
First things first, they take a big bag of money, walk right up to the Zamandar's front door, and buy back their home. Then comes the confrontation, but this time, they aren't the ones begging. They're not poor victims anymore. They're walking in there as successful, powerful businessmen.
And this is where the final piece of the puzzle falls into place. Zamindar, totally humbled, confesses everything. It wasn't bad luck, their products weren't faulty, he was behind it all. He admits he paid off the merchants to lie about the watermelons and to refuse their dates, all because he wanted their land for himself. He actually begs them for forgiveness, saying that in the end, he couldn't fight against their fate.
So, this family's story, it ends up being about so much more than just their own success. Their victory completely shatters the Zaminar's control over the whole village. By refusing to give up, by outsmarting him, they didn't just save themselves, they ended his reign of fear and changed their community for good. Which brings us to the big takeaway here, right? When hard work just isn't cutting it, what does it actually take to win? This story shows us that pure effort isn't always enough. I mean, they worked themselves to the bone and failed twice. It was only when they paired that hard work with a completely new strategy, a new product, a new market, that they finally broke through. So it leaves you with a really interesting question to think about. When you feel like you're hitting a brick wall, is the answer to just push harder, or is it time to find a completely different wall to climb?